Greetings, traveler. I am SnapJelly, and a couple days ago, another YouTuber by the name of the Metatron uploaded a video talking about spinning attacks and how YouTubers, like myself, usually bash on spinning attacks, saying that it's stupid, exposing your back to your opponent, and he goes on and defended a little bit. And the thing is, I don't disagree with him completely, but I disagree on some points that he makes, and I wanted to address those, so I made a response video. Now, just so we're clear, I have no ill will towards the Metatron, right? I have another opinion, just another guy thinking other things. He has his opinion, he's entitled to his opinion. I like his channel, I really do, so don't get me wrong. No ill will is meant with this video. I'll leave a link to his video in the description below or in the annotation in the screen right now. And you can click on that, it will open a new tab, so you won't lose this video. And you can subscribe to him if you haven't and all that stuff. You know. Alright, but like I said, I don't agree with him completely. You see, the Metatron goes on to say that if you are a master of the technique, you could perform a spinning attack properly. And I can't disagree with that. He uses examples of taekwondo and kickboxing to kind of justify that, spinning kicks and all and whatnot. And well, this is true, I would say. If you could master this technique, then yeah, you could do it. But is it really necessary? That is the thing. Alright, he also says that he wouldn't do it with sharp weapons like swords, because he knows that swords are not heavy, bulky, heavy implement weapons. But he would, for example, do it with a heavy weapon like a mace, because it is stronger, he says. Now, I don't necessarily agree. It is true that spinning attacks are very effective in a lot of cases, but I don't think they are stronger per se. I mean, in a way, yeah, you make a large swing, and large swings are stronger. If you have a mace and you do this, bam, your attack is going to be stronger than when you do that. So if you do a spin attack and you go like that, yeah, that's a very powerful attack. But do you really need that spin? That's the thing. I think spinning attacks in, for example, taekwondo, are really effective because they are unexpected. You see, that's the thing. If you look at boxing matches, for example, what you usually see is if one of the parties gets a good strike in, he wins because the other one is knocked out. If you know how to knock somebody out, it's not really hard. One of the best ways to knock somebody out is simply punching them here in the jaw, causing their head to snap and their brain to touch the inside of their skull, and that causes people to get knocked out. So if you can do a spinning kick to the jaw, yeah, there you go, you've won, because he's knocked out. But if you do a normal kick to his jaw, he's also knocked out. So does the spinning really work? Well, it can work, because if I bend this way, you're not going to expect an attack from that side. You're going to expect an attack from this side. That's why it works, I think. People lower their guard on one side of their body, and they'll get a strike from that. But that's what fighting is all about, really. Any type of fighting. You need to try to not make any openings, all the while trying to make openings on your opponent and striking those openings. That's what fighting is about. You can't attack him right on the defense. That's not gonna work. So spinning attacks can work, but because they're unexpected, not per se because they are stronger. So if you would do a spinning attack with a heavy like mace and thwack somebody across the helmet, yeah, that could work, but does it really work better than an ordinary strike? He, for example, also says that if you would miss the first strike, then he would turn into a spin. Considering if you have a mace, for example, you swing and you miss, that you would instead do a spin attack. But doing a spin attack, you're not like a ballerina that just does a full spin. What happens if you do a spin attack is you turn around halfway, turn your back to your opponent essentially, and from here the strike starts. Like that, right? If you do it if you start straight and you do this, by the time your back is turned to your opponent, you lost all your momentum. So you're essentially doing two strikes. Again, if you can do this fast, like this turning around and striking from here, then that shouldn't be a problem. But again, is it necessary? Because if you miss the first swing, you can just come around your head and swing from that side again. Why spin your body? And it's the same from the other side. If you swing from this side, you can just attack again like that. You don't need to spin your body around to do it. And also another thing why I think it doesn't really work is a technique that I learned, like one of the very first techniques that I learned when I started practicing HEMA. And I call it just grabbing the arm. Like, imagine this, right? Somebody's attacking you with his sword and his shield or whatever the hell, and he strikes and you grab his arm. There. Now what does he do? he punches you with his shield, or starts grappling, or whatever. He can do anything he wants with his left arm. But as you spin around, so you're like this, and you strike and somebody grabs your arm, now what? What am I gonna do with my left arm? Nothing. I can't reach you. So a spinning attack can be beneficial, but it might as well not be. And if you don't catch your opponent off guard, it really doesn't help you. Now, spinning, it does happen. I would say it's generally something you'd want to avoid, but it's not horrible. I think you shouldn't do it on purpose. That's what I'm trying to say. You shouldn't just go up to your opponent and be like, whoa, and attack from that side, or the other way, and whoa, attack from that side, because no, that's stupid. It's slower, like, unless of course you're a master and you completely master the technique, but then still, if your opponent is anywhere near good, then he would still kind of see it coming, because that's what sword fighting is about. Any attack is really, really fast, and you need to see him coming, no matter what attack it is. Every attack is about catching your opponent off guard, so a spinning attack is not really any different. And it does happen, like when you're fighting, when you're sparring, and you misstep, for example, and you get into this position, and your opponent is actually behind you, then turning around is more difficult than turning around this way. So yeah, you are exposing your back to your opponent for a very short amount of time, and it can be beneficial, but again, it's an accident. It's after a misstep, or your opponent might actually try to get behind your back, which of course is again something you'd want to avoid, but you can't always, and in such a situation, you can just quickly turn around and try and fix the problem. But again, that's after it's already done, and it's something you want to try and avoid. And he also says that with murder stroking, for example, you could spin around, but again, it's the same thing with maces. Like, if you grab your sword like this, so you're going in for an attack, and you attack like that, then going in for a spin and attack again. Why? Because if you attack like this, you can just turn your sword over your head and strike from that side again, if you per se want that. Or you can strike like this and then strike with the pommel from that side and do whatever you want. Or you can go like this and then stab. There's so many things you can do. Why spin? I don't really think that spinning is really that beneficial. It can be, but not really. So that's the thing. I don't completely disagree with him, but I think some points he addresses aren't really valid. That's essentially it. Again, no disrespect towards the Metatron, right? It's a great channel. You should definitely subscribe if you haven't. And thank you for joining my quest, and I hope you'll join me in the next one. Bye, guys.